Hi, and welcome back to our YouTube channel, Touching Lives Through Love. That's all we know, that through love, you can touch and impact other people's lives. And that's why we are all about touching lives through love. And today we're going to be touching your lives through a very interesting topic. And this topic is all about knowing whether you suffered childhood emotional neglect as a baby when you were growing up. Because let me tell you one thing, and it's a fact: as adults, we are results of what we experienced during our childhood. We did not just pick up personalities, we did not just pick up characteristics of certain kind. No, actually what happened subconsciously in your childhood as you're growing up, the experiences you had as a child growing up is resulting to the person we are interacting with. And I have come to realize that there's one thing that people have not been able to understand: exactly why are things happening the way they are happening, and why are all these things around me like this. There is something we call childhood emotional neglect. Emotional neglect is basically where your emotions are deemed less important. They are seen as if they do not matter. They are trashed, and they are not given a priority. That is when you feel your emotions have been neglected. And maybe you are asking yourself, or maybe you're even asking me over the screen, how do I know whether I grew up in a setup whereby I experienced emotional neglect? And I'm gonna take you through that in a minute, so that you are able to just reflect into your own life, just look into your own self and see and know, could I have gone through this thing called emotional neglect as a child, and how has it impacted my life, and how should I come out of it? Because I realize that it is actually impacting my life in a way that I'm not happy, and I want to come out of it. So how do I know if I suffered childhood emotional neglect while growing up? Number one, if you're a person that you are not able to say exactly what you want, given a choice, you find yourself afraid to say what you want. You find yourself not able to mention what you want. A very simple example: if maybe you are taken to a restaurant and you're told, pick something that from the menu, anything that you want to eat, you are afraid even to pick it. You just tell the person you're with, oh, please pick for me. Anything you pick for me is okay. You're given a choice to choose colors. You're like, any color you choose is okay for me. You are given a choice to choose vacation, where to go for vacation. You're like, any place you choose for me is okay. You are not able to express your emotions or your needs, even in a setup whereby maybe you're in a meeting, maybe you're in an office, maybe you're in a discussion, and somebody asks you, what is your thought in this? What is your opinion on this? What do you suggest we do? You'll be like, I think what everybody says is okay by me. We can just go by what everybody has suggested. As an adult who suffered childhood emotional neglect, the resulting thing that you are handling is that you are an adult that is never able to express yourself, your emotions, your needs, your wants, your feelings, your thoughts. You're not able to bring it out. You're not able to express it. Why? Because from childhood you were brought up to know your emotions do not matter. Your opinions are not important. So your system picked it that way, that you're not supposed to say what your thoughts are and what you think or feel. So that's one way that you can be able to tell that actually you went through childhood emotional neglect. That's why it's still recurring in your life. Another one, if you're an adult that is looking forward to fulfilling the needs of others more, attending to the needs of other people more, you can leave doing your things to go and do somebody's stuff. If maybe you're doing a general cleaning of your house, you can literally leave your the cleaning of your house and go clean another person's house. If you're working on a project, you can leave your project to go and help another person's project. If you are going somewhere, you can forgo going where you are going to be with the other person. If maybe you're working on something that's directly for you, you can leave it aside to be able to do it, to do the same thing that the other person is doing. You know, you're very fast to respond to people's need. You carry people's burdens. You want to make it happen for other people. You want other people to have it easy. If you find yourself so much drawn into other people's things more than you're drawn into your own, most likely maybe you grew up as a child who experienced emotional neglect. That's why your system picked it, that your needs are less important, other people's needs are more important. So you block yours to attend to other people's. And that's why you now where you find people are going through emotional drain, people are going through burnout, because they have attended to people so much, they have carried people's burdens so much until now they can't take it anymore. You know, because they suppress their own needs, they suppress their own feelings, they suppress their own thoughts to attend to other people's thoughts and feelings and all that. So if you're one person, you find yourself, you're too drawn into making it happen to other people, assisting other people. If it is an office setup, you want even to help another person meet their deadline before you meet yours. You want another person's project to be done before yours is even done, and all that and all that. Maybe you are experiencing childhood emotional neglect. We call it SEN. SEN standing for childhood emotional neglect. And then another way to know that maybe you're one person that grew up with the childhood emotional neglect is that you are one person that avoids conflicts at all costs. And you know, conflict is not always bad. There are sometimes you'll have a conflict to better things, to make things work better, to better understand one another, to better make it happen good for both parties. So conflict is not always bad, but you'll find yourself, you are so terrified when you sense that a conflict is about to arise. Actually, you'll draw back, you'll put up a wall, you'll distance yourself, you'll dissociate yourself from whatever is about to bring the conflict. You will disconnect yourself literally. You do not want a conflict. You just want to maintain the status quo. You just want things the way they are. Even if they are not okay, just leave them to be like that, as much as a conflict is not arising. If your spouse is cheating on you, I don't want to know much about it. Let them continue cheating on me. If they are battling you, let them continue battling me. If they are stressing you up, let them continue stressing you up. You can take it, you can swallow it, as long as I'm not making a conflict arise. Why is that so? It is because you suffered childhood emotional neglect. You are not able to handle a conflict when it arises. For you, a conflict arising means end of things. If you're in a relationship and your partner is not doing things right, you better not hold a conflict. You better not hold something that will bring a conflict, or a discussion that will bring a conflict, because your system tells you, if I hold a discussion to bring up a conflict, then that's the end of this relationship. This person will end up leaving me. This business will end up dying. You know, I will end up being sacked. I will end up being told no more job for you. You know, they are afraid. A conflict means an end of things to them, because these people never grew up in an environment whereby you are in a setup that you are bringing up a different opinion from what another person has. So this person has a different opinion, this one a different one. Together you discuss about it, you conflict around it until you meet in the middle and find a solution. They lack the skills. So because they don't have the skills to do so, they would rather maintain the status quo and avoid conflict at all costs. So if you're one person who find that you better be taken advantage of, you better be the victim, but avoid conflict, You better sweep things under the carpet, but avoid conflict. It's not happening right. You're not okay with what's going on, but you better keep it cool and sweep under things under the carpet and don't bring up issues. If you find yourself you're that kind of a person, most likely you suffered what we call childhood emotional neglect. And another thing, if you are somebody who grew up experiencing childhood emotional neglect, you'll find yourself you'll find yourself not able to do things until the outside world validates. You depend too much on outsiders validation. You cannot do anything. It's until people validate. It's until people clap. It's until people tell you go, go, go. It's until people tell you are beautiful. You cannot feel beautiful by your own self. You cannot feel handsome by your own self. You cannot feel the achievement by your own self. You cannot feel the celebration by your own self. It's until people will tell you, wow, I love what you did. And you're like, oh, you mean it was good? You over depend on people's validation. And now the risk of that is that, unfortunately, for somebody who does not wish you well, they might end up using the reverse psychology on you. They might use that to make you not progress. Somebody who does not wish well for you, they will tell you you are ugly when you're beautiful. They'll tell you they don't like your shape when you have the most beautiful shape. They'll tell you they don't like how you speak when actually you are the best public speaker. They'll tell you they don't love how you do business when actually you are the best business person. They can use a reverse psychology on that, because they know even when you dress up, you're like, oh my God, is it okay? Is this one good? Can I change it? Do I still keep it? Do I put another color? Somebody can take advantage of you and use a reverse psychology on you. That's the most dangerous thing of when you are somebody who is over depending on people's validation. Another thing to help you know that you suffered childhood neglect, and why I'm bringing this out is because healing starts from acknowledging that, yes, I feel like what you're talking about, I went through it. Then what do I do to pull myself out of it? Acknowledging, acceptance will help you move out of that situation. So you have to know exactly, because I'm finding myself, I'm this kind of a person, so exactly what has been happening to me. Why do I behave like this? Why do I do things like this? Exactly what is it that happened? And then you're like, oh, what you're saying is exactly what happens to me. I accept it. I accept that I am an adult who suffered childhood emotional neglect. And one important thing that I should mention about childhood emotional neglect, it is something that is so sensitive, because emotional neglect is not about what people did to you. It's not about what people did to you. It is about what people failed to do to you. And we shall be doing that when we shall be looking at what causes this emotional neglect. Some of the things that might cause one to suffer childhood emotional neglect. So another thing, and the last one, not the least, to let you know or to bring to your awareness that could be you suffered childhood emotional neglect, is that you put a wall. You put a wall to your feelings intentionally. You don't want to feel. You don't want to feel. Even yourself, you don't want to feel what you're feeling. You're blocking other people to feel what you're feeling. If you're sad and you feel overwhelmed and you feel like crying and you feel like your world is literally collapsing, you do not want people to feel. You do not want people to see your tears. You do not want people to see you broken. You do not also want to accept it that I'm broken, I'm crying. You feel like it's weird. You mean I'm broken. When you're excited, you're even afraid. You're like, people will see that I'm so excited. Oh my God, I need to tone it down. How will people see me when they see me celebrating and jumping and excited? You even yourself, You don't believe it. You're like, you mean I'm excited? You mean I'm this happy? I didn't believe in that party. I was all over and jumpy and all that. You are blocking. You're putting a wall. You do not want to be in touch with your own feelings. You do not want. When you're in love, you're like, you mean literally like I'm in love? You mean I'm loving somebody? You mean like literally somebody is loving me? You know, somebody is giving me love. You don't even know how to receive it because there is a wall. There is a wall that you are battling. And that wall automatically developed when, as a child, you went through emotional neglect. Now, what caused all that? What might have been the causes of all that? Because we have agreed that emotional neglect come about not because of things people do to you. They come about because of the things people fail to do to you. People who matter, people who are your primary caregivers, your parents, your guardians, your relatives, people close to you. What they failed to do is actually what caused the childhood emotional neglect. It's not what people did to you. And this awareness is going to help us to, especially those people who are parenting, like me, I'm a parent. Those people who are parenting, when you have this awareness, it's going to help you break the cycle when you're doing your parenting. You do not want to repeat things. You do not want your children to grow up feeling emotionally neglected, because now you are aware, you have accepted, and you are doing things right for them, so that they can grow up enjoying a lot of emotional acceptance. So one thing that might have caused the emotional neglect feeling is that you grew up in a setup whereby people are not asked too many things, that too many questions that might connect them to their own feelings. Nobody bothered to ask you good morning. Nobody bothered to ask you how was your day, how was your night, how are you feeling, how are you. Nobody bothered to tell you, you look dull. Could you be mad, angry? Who made you mad? Who annoyed you? There were not those questions. Nobody was in that business of asking you how are you. And that's why now, because you have the awareness, it's very important for you to start doing it with your own children and people around you. Just ask them, how are you? Today you came looking so happy and excited. What happened? Tell me the good news. And let them tell you, oh my God, you know, today my boss complimented me in front of everybody. Oh my God, you know, today I sealed that deal. You're letting somebody express their emotions. So you suffered childhood emotional neglect because nobody allowed you to express those feelings, be it good feelings, bad feelings, confusion, all that, fears. Nobody allowed you or gave you that platform. So you learned to shield it. You learned to bottle it up. You learned to keep it to yourself. So that made you suffer childhood emotional neglect. And then maybe you grew up in a family setup where those discussions are a waste of time, where those discussions are null and void, where those discussions are just pettiness. You know, when you want to express yourself, it's seen as pettiness. When you want to say exactly what you feel, it's not taken seriously. Actually, it is dismissed in a way that hurt you even more. The family setup is that. So you have come here jumpy and excited about what has happened to you in the office. How does it concern us? Please keep it to yourself. So you're keeping a dull face. You're showing us how broken you are. How is it our business? Please go and fix yourself somewhere. You know, man up. Be the adult. You know, handle it like a man. So you are not given that platform to discuss. That's another cause. Lack of family discussions that foster emotions emotional expressions. And that's why I have said, because now we are people who are aware. If you're a parent and bringing up kids, start having family discussions around emotion expressions. Just ask your child, even if you see your child crying and you know why they are crying, ask them, oh, you're crying, what's making you cry? Let them say, with all the anger, with all the bitterness, with all the confusion, with all the fears, let them tell you the reason why they are crying, even if you know the why they are crying. You know, somebody took away their toy, you know it, but because you want to foster the habit and the culture of emotion expression, you just ask them, you are so sad, why? And they tell you, somebody took my toy, and you know that was my favorite toy, you know how much I love it and how much I treasure it, and then you handle it from there. Okay, so because now we are aware, can we now foster more of that? And again, you could have been in a setup whereby, like I said previously, nobody bothered to ask more about yourself. Like, let's say, for example, the beautiful top that I'm wearing, somebody might be like, oh wow, you're wearing a bright colored top, what's the occasion? You know, and I will be like, oh my god, I just felt like I love these colors today, I'm feeling like I'm in a good mood, so I wanted to dress in this. You know, if you grew up in setups where people were not giving you an opportunity to bring out your emotions, to bring out your thoughts, to bring out your feelings, even when you're sick, maybe as a child, you could just be quiet and they would know maybe you're quiet, they would know you are sick because you're overly quiet, or maybe you're not even eating, you're not able to eat. But before they come to land to the fact that it could be you're sick, they have harassed you. Why are you not eating? Take your food and eat. You know, why are you so quiet? Why are you not talking to people? And they do not allow you to say, I think I'm not feeling okay, I think I feel sick, I think I need to see a doctor. They do not allow you that. So those are some of the small things that will cause you to have emotional neglect experience that will show up very strongly in your childhood. Some of the feedback you received as a child growing up formed that opinion in your mind that my emotions are just not important. You know, let me say, for example, somebody told you, look at you, you are too mouthy. You are too mouthy, shut up. So you're like, oh my God, I should be shutting up. I was told I'm too mouthy. The feedback I was given, you know. You're like, you are a very sensitive person. You are a very sensitive person. We are tired of you. And you're like, oh my God, let me hold myself back so that I'm not told I'm bothering people, or I'm not told I'm dismissed as a highly sensitive person. We call them the HSP. You know, let me just hold it back. So all those things and many more, I can't mention all of them. There are too many childhood experiences that could have made you actually now suffer the childhood emotional neglect that you are battling at this time. But now that you're aware, now that I have mentioned things that might help you know if you suffered childhood emotional neglect, and maybe you went ticking with me, you did a self-reflection and you're like, as you mentioned, yes, this is me, this is me, this is me. And now we have looked into now the things that might have triggered or caused that childhood emotional neglect. And maybe you also ticked and agreed with me that yes, this and this happened to me as a child, and now it is making you suffer in so many ways. It's making you suffer in your marriage because you cannot bring up an issue, you are afraid of causing conflict, so you better just suffer as a victim quietly. You are suffering at your workplace because even if people are stepping on your foot, you cannot say it, you cannot speak it, you know, and a lot of things. Now that you know, it's time to come out. And a very simple exercise I'm going to give you for today, because this is gonna be a series that I will be speaking about how does sin, we agreed sin is a short way of saying childhood emotional neglect. How is sin affecting you as a person? How is it affecting your relationship, your love relationship? How is it affecting your marriage? How is it affecting your relationship with friends? And all that and all that. We shall be making it a series, and we shall be discussing all of it together. So today was just basically an introduction, and I know that you have gotten a lot out of this introduction. I know you'll be looking forward to part 2 of this, and I will be dropping it sooner than soon. So, a simple exercise for you. Start being in touch with your own feelings. Stop blocking your feelings. When you feel like you're worked up, tell somebody, I feel worked up. If you're not able to tell somebody, write it down. If you can't write it down, record on your phone and listen to it later, how you expressed it. How did I express saying that I feel worn out? How did I express saying that I am tired? How did I express saying I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm looking forward? How did I say it? You know, start being in touch with your own feelings. Start coming back, start owning up, start loving your own feelings, your own thoughts. Start appreciating your emotions and start expressing them bit by bit. The first time it might feel weird, you know, because you're even supposed to just close your eyes and ask yourself, what am I thinking? And let it flow. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? And let it flow. You know, ask yourself those questions. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? What are my thoughts? What are my emotions on this? Close your eyes and just allow it to flow. Allow it to flow without being edited. Tell it to somebody. If you have somebody trusted that you can tell. If you don't have, write it down. If you cannot write it down, record it on your phone. It's very important for you to learn now to start bringing out those emotions bit by bit. Don't do big steps. Start with baby steps. When somebody has wronged you, start gaining that little courage to tell them, excuse me, what you did not make me happy. I didn't like what you did. What you did made me feel like I am a lesser person. I request that next time you shouldn't do it that way. You know, start expressing. When you are happy about something that has happened and maybe somebody did it to you, give that person feedback. Oh my God, when you took me for lunch, it made me feel so loved. It made me feel so appreciated. It made me feel like I'm a very special person. Thank you. You know, start bit by bit. Start even by saying, oh my God, I feel tired. I think this and this made me tired today. You know, I met this person that brightened up my day. We had a discussion. We talked about this and this, and then we agreed on about, I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm looking forward to our next meeting. Start now expressing it bit by bit. When you're in a setup, maybe it's a meeting setup, and people are giving their opinion, even just raise up your hand. Don't be that person who says, what you said, I agree with it. Everything you discussed is okay by me. All you said, I'm okay by it. Now start throwing in your little opinions and suggestions. Just gain the courage and say, I am thinking, my opinion to this, my suggestion to this would be, I think if you did this and this, you know, little by little. Even start by suggesting what you think should be eaten in the house. Just said, I think if today we can do rice and beef stew, that would be so great. And then you'll be like, I was able to say what I really feel I want to eat today, it will encourage you to say the next thing tomorrow and the next thing tomorrow. And you know, my people, I love you so much. And as I told you, it's gonna be a series. We're gonna talk more about childhood emotional neglect, because it's a wide topic. Because when you suffered childhood emotional neglect, it is resulting and showing results in your adulthood. It is showing results in your marriage. It's showing results in your love relationships. It's showing results in how you interact and relate with your friends. It's showing results in so many areas of our lives, and we shall be tackling one after the other. We shall not be mixing them. So when we say we are discussing effects of childhood emotional neglect on marriage, that will be on its own. Effects of childhood emotional neglect on love relationship, that will be it. Effect of childhood emotional neglect on friendship, that would be it. Because I want us to get it. I want us to own it. I want us to accept it. Acceptance is the starting point to a journey of healing, into a journey of recovering what you feel like you lost all through. So I love you so much, my good people. I can't wait to interact with you in my next video, which is coming soon. Please make sure that you subscribe and touch that notification bell, so that when I drop the next video, you will be actually among the first people to be notified that there's a new video, and you shall watch it when it is sizzling hot. And another thing, I love reading your comments. Tell me what you think on the comment section. Was this video helpful to you? Give it a thumbs up. If you give it a thumbs up, YouTube will know that this was a great content, and YouTube will actually recommend it to many more people to watch it, and that way you'll be helping me and motivating me to bring much more quality content to you. I love you, and I can't wait to interact with you in my next video. And keep it here. It's touching lives through love. It's all about love. I love you. Mwah.